Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Just Face It podcast. Today is October 6th, 2019. We've got an exciting episode for you guys this week. This week, we've got on as our guest IgginstheBug. And as usual, we've got the Psychoscrast,
Hello.
who I think broke.
How are you?
Nonstop.
Stuck on there.
What's up, everybody? How you guys doing today?
So we got a little bit of a lighter news week this week, but some fun stuff all the same. But yeah, this week we've got IgginstheBug with us. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got into streaming, how long you've been streaming, all that good stuff.
Well, I'm almost in my 30s. I've been trying to stream since high school because that's when Twitch was invented, and I really liked watching people on there and YouTube videos and all that. And I was like, yeah, I want to do that. And so here we are.
Awesome. Do you remember the first game you ever tried streaming?
Halo 3.
Halo 3. Awesome. Alrighty. So if you guys want to go check out his channel, you can over on Twitch. But I think we will dive straight in to some of our news this week. So our first big bit of news this week is Sony has had some interesting changes. They have had they've lost somebody. They have lost a key figure, kind of the guy who is in charge of all things PlayStation. He's finally retired. There's no real reason was given on why he's left. But it does make people a little bit nervous, just because it's kind of bad timing. He's been around there for a long time. He's overseen a lot of big releases on the PlayStation side, and him leaving right before the release of the PS5 is not the best news. But yeah, like they said, the chairman, Sean Layden, who left, they haven't said why he's stepping down. Sony, all they said was the usual, we wish him all the best in his endeavors. I don't know. What do you guys think about this bit of news?
It makes me nervous. He made a lot of good calls with the PlayStation 4, a lot of good calls with the PS3. I don't know who they're going to get to replace them, and then that makes me worry about what changes they're going to make to Sony as a whole on the PlayStation side of things, which could lead to Sony losing ground on the Xbox and losing ground on maintaining their dominancy on the home console market. We can't really be 100% sure. Hopefully he's just going to go on and do his own thing, hopefully still in the gaming industry. But yeah, we'll see what happens in the next few months, especially with PS5 on the horizon and Scarlet on the horizon.
Yeah, it's an interesting timing. It's kind of like a country gearing up, ready to go to war, and then they elect a new president, who has no experience. That's kind of how I see it. New console generations are a rough time for a company. They kind of make or break them for the next 5 or so years. And who knows, maybe whoever they bring in to replace Layden will kill it. Hopefully they do.
Yeah.
But that's some big shoes to fill, and at a very, very tough time. What do you think, Higgins?
I honestly, I don't think it's going to matter. It is a rough time for something like that to happen, but at the same time, he's had all these other great people under him, and somebody great is going to step up, and hopefully they do fill the shoes. But that's like when Cliff Bleszinski stepped down from Epic. They did fine without him. So hopefully the best comes out of it. though, regardless.
Yeah, it's yeah, I don't know. It's just kind of a case of wait and see, and it's not necessarily the best news for Sony, but maybe Sony in general has a different idea of how they want to change things, their sort of game plan. That's kind of what I would hope. Maybe Layden was kind of the one who was kind of putting his digging his foot in the ground about, you know, crossplay and all that kind of stuff. And maybe that's the reason he's stepping away, is Sony is wanting to embrace more of that kind of stuff and step away from exclusives. That's a big guess there. Completely unfounded on my part, guys. Don't take that to heart. Just trying to extrapolate.
That's the best case scenario.
Yeah, for what I'm hoping. But yeah, I guess really we'll have to wait and see what happens with it. This next generation it's going to be an interesting jump. Moving on to our next bit of news. Overwatch fans will be pretty happy. I'm pretty happy. I'm looking forward to this. Apparently there's a Overwatch novel on the way. It's going to be starring Effie and her robot that she made, Arisa. Anybody who's fans of the lore, you should get pretty excited for this. Arisa is one of the heroes that you play as in Overwatch, and this is about the child genius prodigy who made her, and the whole story is about the how she built the robot Arisa in response to Doomfist destroying the city of Nubani. I'm excited.
I'm excited.
I don't really know anything about the lore, so I can't really harbor a comment on the whole matter. I mean, it's cool for Overwatch fans if you like to read. I think it would have done better as a graphic novel, in my personal opinion. I could get behind an Overwatch comic book. That'd be pretty cool.
Well, they do have Overwatch comic books.
Well, then there you go.
That is a thing.
Shows how much I know about this series.
It's kind of interesting. They do have a lot of lore and a lot of story out there. It's just everywhere but the game.
I think this is going to be great, especially since they got Drayden to write it, because they did Guilds of Ravnica and all that for the Magic series, and did a really good job on that. Explaining some of the lore of that, because you get just maybe 5% of the lore just playing the card game, so hopefully they'll do just as good here.
Yeah,
I'm excited for it. Like you said, the lore is all out there except the game, and it's hit or miss where you go and find it. So.
Yeah, I figured that'd make you pretty happy as a Magic fan, seeing him write it. Maybe one day we'll actually get an Overwatch movie. Maybe it'll happen. Maybe with Overwatch 2 we'll get an actual campaign. That'd be cool.
Well, hopefully we'll get a
It'll just be a battle royale.
Gears movie before we get the Overwatch one.
Batista gonna play Marcus.
We're working on it.
Yeah.
We'll get the Gears movie before Overwatch.
It's been shut down. That's the other thing. Like, we would love to see an Overwatch movie, but how many times is it going to get shut down at the same time? So I'll take the books over the movie.
It'll do really well in China, like World of Warcraft movie. That was terrible.
It's yeah. I don't know. We'll have to see. On a side note, it wasn't really a news thing, but or worthy of talking about it all by itself. But I did see that the creative head in charge of Overwatch, he mentioned how much he would really like to see an Overwatch Smash Bros crossover.
That'd be cool.
Which I thought was really funny. He went on in an interview for quite a bit about how he wants an Overwatch character over in Smash Bros. He's like, Nintendo, just take anyone. They're all great. You can do whatever you want with them. They'll all be fine. Ryan, Doomfist, whoever you want. Even Mercy.
They'll just take like Tracer or somebody if they do that.
Yeah, I think he mentioned he kind of wanted Tracer since that was just kind of their mascot. That's who he'd prefer, but
No, Winston all the way. Donkey Kong versus Winston. Let's go.
there we go. That would be fun.
Final Smash is just Bastion.
Yeah, I don't know how some of the guns would work. Some of the Overwatch is a little bit heavier on guns than Smash.
They made Solid Snake work, so
that's true. That's true. Apex fans should be pretty happy this week. There's a leak going out that a sort of Halloween-themed zombie survival mode is coming to Apex Legends. We shouldn't have to wait too long if that's actually true. It was found by a data miner and it was uploaded online. Some of the keywords and phrases hinting at it. So maybe in the next couple of weeks, we'll see a zombie mode come to Apex Legends.
That's interesting. Zombie modes always do great. It doesn't matter what game you throw them in. Call of Duty Zombies was always fun, and actually the only reason why I picked up Black Ops 4. And even like PUBG has a zombie mode where four survivors, and then everybody else plays as zombies. Can't grab weapons. But
yeah, let's not talk about that. That
Yeah.
some feelings.
I was gonna say, if it's gonna be like the zombie mode on PUBG, that's a flop. But if it's something interesting like how Halo's done it in the past years, you start off with like 3 alphas versus the other 97 or however many, then yeah, that would be fun and interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I think it'll be good. Respawn's a great developer. Regardless of how you feel about Apex Legends, Respawn has always done pretty well. They've adapted to what their player base has liked with both the first and second Titanfall, and for the most part, it seemed to pretty much follow through with Apex Legends, which is a game that just came out of nowhere. So I've got hope for it. I think it sounds fun. I'll give it a go when and if it comes out.
Yeah.
It'll actually make me re-download Apex. To be honest with you, like I can get behind this regardless.
I'll give it a look, see how it goes. I'll probably die a lot like I do in the normal one. But.
Yeah, that's why they do like these kind of events though. Everybody loves zombies for the most part. Gamers love zombies. They always love those kind of modes. Last kind of thing that it brought to mind, last example was Rainbow Six. It wasn't technically zombies, but they're I forget what it was called. They're infection, alien outbreak. Yeah, whatever it was called. It was a limited time event, but it did really well. Boosted their concurrent players for a lot by a considerable amount during that month-long event, and it was popular enough that they're actually making a spin-off game of it. So, who knows? You never know what happens with events like these. Could be good. Could be fun.
Yeah.
So this one we can talk a little bit longer about. Ghost Recon Breakpoint has.
Oh my god, yes.
It's caught a little bit of flack, a lot of flack for the way it's handled microtransactions. Apparently, pretty much. So, people who don't play Breakpoint, it's a military shooter, but it's got some open world RPG stuff to it. Upgrade weapons and craft new weapons and all that kind of stuff. And basically, from the get-go, they've put in microtransactions so you can just go through and buy every available upgrade and thing that you would have to grind normally to get to the end game content. So they've been catching a lot of flack because of that, because they essentially, you bought the game and then here you can pretty much pay X money to complete the game without actually having spent any time on it.
It's the same thing that goes with like when Battlefront 2 came out, and just even one of the Call of Duties had weird microtransactions that everybody hated. You would think that history would teach you a lesson when it comes to pay to win kind of scenarios.
How much? All right, because see, I haven't got to see much of the game except, the very beginning of it. How much does it actually affect other players, though?
It's well,
I can't pull up the article. My browser won't let me.
oh, I mean, I can't speak like in detail. I haven't picked up Breakpoint, so I haven't actually played it myself. I played it in the alpha, but things change. The way they were doing it, at least in the alpha, was multiplayer and single player, or like the PvE stuff are separate level ups. But I think there are certain things that cross over. Certain guns, certain things. I think it's. I think the outrage isn't so much about how it's affecting other players. It's just it's that it cheapens the experience. Maybe cheapens isn't the right word, but you know what I mean. Like, 'cause it's not cheap, but
makes it a little more expensive. No,
yeah.
It takes all the fun out of the game if you could just do that. Like, what's the point of actually going through and grinding and doing anything if you can just simply pay $10-$20 and get all the stuff that you need and then go through and complete the game as is? Like,
yeah, I think especially with a game like this where it is a shared world shooter, like you go in and you play with your friends, and a big portion of it is or a lot of the draw with games like that is, hey, I grinded for this, look at this sweet gun I got. And then your friend could be like, oh yeah, I paid $10 for that.
yeah.
Like, oh, you spent 20 hours trying to
big slap in the face.
I paid $10. It's an exaggeration, but that's essentially what it comes down to. And I think that's why people are upset about it. It like you said, why play for it? Why grind it if you can just pay money?
I don't know.
To each his own, I guess. I mean, as long as it's not ruining my experience in PvP or PvE, whichever. But I feel like everybody's getting ridiculous with microtransactions in games, regardless.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's because the old school gamer in me, and I love to grind for everything. But it's already a full retail price game. Just drop it. I'm willing to spend a couple bucks on cosmetics, but I hate paying for things that are just going to give me an edge.
Yeah, this is the problem the games industry has been having issues with, and the reason why you see the last couple of years, especially, you see microtransactions hitting the news more and more often, is games have stayed at $60 for a considerable time now. It used to be that games on day one releases, the prices were kind of all over the place. They'd be $30, sometimes they'd be $90. But it's been what, 15 years, I want to say 15, almost 20 years since games have just kind of all been $60. If it's a AAA game, it's $60. And so it's not like production costs have gone down. They've only gone up because gamers want more and more out of their games. So it gets more expensive to make them. But that price tag says, it still stays at $60. I'm not justifying what these publishers are doing. I just want to give you guys all a sort of sense of why they keep adding more and more microtransactions in games. Is they're trying to find ways to sort of recuperate their money, because they are a business when it comes down to it, and they've got to find ways to make money. Otherwise, they stop making games. And that's why you're seeing loot boxes come into play, and more recently seen battle passes popping up everywhere, because they're trying to find ways that they can monetize the game even more to make up for those production costs, so they can actually turn a profit, but at the same time not, for the most part, certain publishers are different, but not be too invasive to the customers. That's why we keep seeing it pop up in the news.
At the same time, I feel like microtransactions on skins and stuff, yeah, cool. At the same time, I feel like it shouldn't cost me $10 for a skin.
Yeah. Yeah. From what I can tell, like I said, I haven't played Breakpoint myself yet. It doesn't seem like anything's locked behind a paywall. It doesn't seem like you have to, pay $10 to actually continue on with the game. Like what runs so rampant with mobile games. But yeah, I think people just they aren't happy about it. I think most gamers would agree that cosmetics only. I'll put in money, but I don't know. We'll have to see what happens over the next 5 years. Maybe they'll find a way to monetize things a little bit better. I haven't been complaining about the battle passes, season passes, those sort of things that they've been putting in. Some are better than others, but at least you can see what you're getting.
Yeah. I like battle passes just because it's like something to kind of grind for, but then again, it's also grinding for it. Gives you incentive to keep playing. But I mean, I don't know. Let's say we're playing and it's PvE, and then somebody's runs up with a gun that just can demolish everything at once, and it kind of sucks out the fun at that point in time. Like, oh, cool, I'm finally in a battle. Oh, never mind, that guy walked through and killed everything. I guess I'll keep walking.
Welcome to Tarkov.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to. It's kind of a wait and see. It always comes down to, though, if you guys don't like microtransactions, you don't have to get the game. You don't have to spend the money. Nobody forces you. I think we've kind of, at least with like PC and console games, we've kind of, with the big AAA releases, I think they've backed away from the paywall stuff after Battlefront 2. So like even with Breakpoint, it's not behind a paywall. It's a little irritating, but you don't have to spend that money.
That's what you think.
Important thing to remember. Just no one's forcing you to spend the money. Save your money.
But I feel obligated.
In 10 years, they're going to have ad breaks in games. Every screen's going to be an ad.
No, that's the death of gaming right there. That's
don't even say that, please.
So in 2029, I can look back on this episode and then be angry with myself for giving them the idea.
Yeah. Why'd you ever do that? Why'd you ever do that? Shame on you.
Somebody's going to be watching this podcast and be a CEO somewhere, and they were like, that's a smart idea.
We should do that. Yeah. Ad breaks.
Let's hire him.
Right before the final boss fight. Big old 30-minute ad. They'll sit through it because they want to beat that boss.
Speaking of ads, like, I was on YouTube yesterday, and there was a 2-hour ad popped up, and I was like, what is this? I was like, what the hell? It was like a whole movie.
What?
Yes, a 2-hour ad on YouTube, and it was something about children starving in Africa, and it was like the whole bio thing, like,
the whole movie, ad,
the whole movie for it. And I was like, whoa, no, thank God for skipping 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I've seen like 30-minute ads and stuff like that. I don't know. I like the way Facebook does their ads for streamers who have ads. I've only seen it on a couple partners, but what it is it's a little drop-down box that'll say what it is, and you could just hit the arrow and put it back up, and it doesn't bother you. But they still get the ad revenue for it, so that's kind of cool.
I like that idea.
Yeah. It's, I don't know. All right. Moving on to our next bit of news. This one will probably PC gamers will be a little bit more interested in knowing, just because they tend to use Discord a little bit more. Discord is laying off a bunch of people. Discord has been going through some major changes this last year. It's not exactly clear how many people they laid off. There's no definitive number, but they did confirm that it was a considerable amount. And they mentioned their marketing team or marketing department making a change with that. They've had some interesting changes just in the last 2 months. We've talked about it a little bit before, like their Prime or not Prime, Nitro membership, where you pay $5 a month. It used to include free games that you could play, sort of similar to like Game Pass. They're pulling that away. They said it was just because not enough people were playing them. It makes me a little fearful with for Discord right now. I'll be honest.
Yeah, that's very scary, especially since it is the number one software that people use to chat with each other. It does kind of make you wonder what's happening. Hopefully, if something major does happen, somebody will kind of buy it out and keep it going, because it is used by so many people. I don't know if very many people are using Discord Nitro. I don't know the statistics on it. I personally use it myself, just because I like the better audio quality in my server with the boosted servers. But honestly, I never played any of the games. We already went over that when they were talking about taking away the games library. The reason being is I own all of the games that are on there, so there's like really no point. I hope for the best, because I really hate to have to switch to another software. There's not very many softwares that you could use right now. Let's be fair. Before Discord, we were all using Skype, and that was buggy and choppy. And I mean, it's gotten better now that Microsoft bought Skype out. But
yeah, I mean, I was thinking it was really like I think like TeamSpeak was the main one I was seeing around. But yeah, I don't know what the actual numbers are for Nitro members. There's very, very few out of their. We know they broke a milestone this year of 250 million users of Discord. That's a lot of people. But I see very few people with Nitro. I know on my server it's me and one other person. I guess you as well, so maybe 3. But yeah, I never see people with Nitro as well. It makes me really sad. So I'm hoping that maybe they're just doing this to kind of cut back on their spending as a way to kind of like shuffle things around and prioritize, and hopefully it keeps them going for longer as they figure out new ways to make revenue, because I just don't think their Nitro membership is making them any money. Not really.
It's
sorry, go ahead.
It's really hard for a company that does everything on a free base platform to keep everything going, especially when you have that many employees. So businesses do this all the time, and I feel like the biggest reason why this one's breaking news is because it's such a well-known and such a popular software that's used across the board, that it's kind of made headway to the news. It might just be nothing. It might just be something that they have to do in order to keep them afloat, to keep everything going, which sucks for the people who are involved, who now have to find another job. But
yeah, I don't think Discord's going to disappear at all. I think, like you said, what'll happen is somebody will end up buying it out. The only problem with that is when another company buys them out, that means it is the way they operate now focuses on the company who owns them. rather than its user base. So sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. Like I think like, you know, like a good example of it, and sorry Twitch users, is when Amazon bought Twitch. There's certain things that came with it that were really nice, like their Prime membership, giving free subs, all that kind of stuff, your games and that kind of stuff. But you see an increase in ads, and you know there's tends to be less innovation when it's owned by a bigger company, because it's no longer just a small group of people saying, "Oh, what about this? What about that?" It has to fit the corporate needs. So
I was just gonna say I could see Amazon buying them out, or even Google buying them out to compete against Microsoft. But
I was thinking any of them, or who knows, maybe Microsoft will buy them out. They've got they already have like integration with Xbox and all that. So it's totally plausible. And Phil Spencer is all about he's a gamer himself, and he's all about what's best for the gamers. So maybe he'll with Microsoft's kind of renewed interest in PC gaming, maybe they'll sweep in and pick it up. But hopefully it doesn't go the way of Skype, like when Microsoft bought Skype.
Oh, Ventrilo. I forgot about Ventrilo.
Ventrilo, that was another one. Yeah, you just don't see people use Ventrilo or TeamSpeak or Skype really anymore for video or sound conferencing. Or like it's Discord.
Yeah, it's like, man, it's like TeamSpeak. Okay, that's old. That's older than MySpace, and then MySpace got.
Can you lean in just a little bit, Higgins?
Yeah, it's like you said, TeamSpeak. TeamSpeak's like super old, older than MySpace, and then you had MySpace, and then something replaced it, and it wound up being better. So hopefully it doesn't happen with Discord, but at least if they get bought out, they do better stuff with it.
There you go. Facebook, buy Discord.
Oh god.
Make Facebook integration like Twitch has for games.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens. We'll have to keep an eye on it, and we'll let you guys we'll let our viewers know if we hear any more with it. Next bit of news should make PC players happy. Red Dead Redemption 2 is coming to PC, but it's coming to Steam a little bit later. It's coming to Epic and Rockstar's new storefront first on was it November 5th? Let me double check. Beginning of November, anyways, and then November 5th, and then a month later it'll come to Steam in early October. So it's not exactly like Epic Store exclusivity because it is launching on multiple clients, but it is a little weird that it's being released a month later, especially since Rockstar games have typically released on Steam in the past.
Yeah, but when Grand Theft Auto 5's release, they had kind of a lash out with Steam. So it does make some sense to me, and I know they've been working on getting more people to do the Rockstar's launcher, and Epic just pays better. Like, they take less of a cut, so
Yeah.
I see why they're doing it. Either way, I'm excited. Hog Tie Squad will be on PC, and I'll play a lot more, and it'll look a lot better than going through my capture cards. So,
yeah. And on the plus side, if you do get it through, if you pre-order Red Dead Redemption 2 on PC through Rockstar's new game launcher, they will give you a selection of 2 free Rockstar PC games that you can choose from, either Grand Theft Auto 3, GTA Vice City, GTA San Andreas, Bully, LA Noire, or Max Payne 3. So you get to pick 2 of those if you pre-order through the Rockstar launcher, which isn't too bad. It's not a bad deal. I haven't really used the Rockstar launcher yet. I got it installed, but I haven't really. I don't think I've even signed in, so I don't know how it operates yet. But
it's actually very nice because you can link all your you can link Steam to it, you can link Epic to it, and everything like that, so you can play with everybody across the board. So
nice.
it's really not a big deal that it's coming to Steam later, because you're still going to be able to play with Steam players.
Gotcha. Just means if you're a Steam fanboy, you're gonna have to wait for a month. All right. Our next little bit of news. It's a little bit different, but I thought it was relevant. So recently, we talked about it before. The Twitch streamer Ninja signed a contract with Mixer and went over to Mixer's platform. Became huge over there. Gained lots of subscribers. He has recently talked about sort of the reasons why he went over to Mixer, and it wasn't necessarily for monetary reasons like everybody else believed. They kind of went on about it where Twitch was, and this is just what they were talking about in an interview. Twitch was restricting what they could and could not do outside of their mainstreams, specifically sort of like brand affiliations and partnerships and that sort of stuff, appearing on TV shows and different programs and that sort of stuff. And they went on talking for a little bit about how they had tried discussing with Twitch, had their legal team talk with Twitch saying, hey, this is what we want to do. We need to find a way to work on this. They stated that Twitch didn't really listen to them on that. And so Microsoft approached them with this exclusivity deal, and it fit all their needs and what they wanted to do. And Microsoft, I guess, was more than willing to work with them on whatever they wanted to get him over to Mixer. And that's essentially why they went over there. It wasn't necessarily because he was making more money they haven't released what the actual salary on the agreement was, but it's an interesting move. And I bring it up just because I think, we're used to seeing the console war going on for the last how many decades. But this streaming war is kind of what it is now. This is sort of unprecedented, having a big streamer like this getting stolen and going over there. And he is the number one watched streamer in the world right now. So sort of the reasons behind it are interesting and kind of I think a wake-up call to some of the platforms out there. I don't know. What are your guys' thoughts?
So it's kind of the same reason why there was some Twitch streamers like there's Sohinky. He was from Smosh, but he was a Twitch streamer that moved to Facebook. As soon as you start like cutting creative freedoms and stopping somebody from progressing their career, they're going to become unhappy. They're going to find another place to go. So hopefully this is kind of a wake-up call to Twitch, like, hey, maybe you need to like lighten up on certain things, because you got, like, for example, you got Markiplier, who's been on like the Jimmy Kimmel show and Jimmy Fallon and even Conan O'Brien's show, and YouTube has no care about that at all. But then, like, you don't really see Twitch streamers going on TV shows, and now we have insight as to why. Is Amazon is just kind of controlling everything that they do, and it's pretty scary for somebody who's going to make a career out of specifically streaming to one platform. And I don't know, it's a huge loss for Twitch. It's an awesome gain for Microsoft, and I wish Ninja the best of luck, because he's not a bad streamer. He's a pretty decent dude. So we'll see what happens next. Maybe Facebook will get some more exclusive streamers from Twitch and kind of move us up on that list.
Well, they have recently. I know they've pulled some Destiny streamers recently to True Vanguard came over, and there's a few other. I don't remember them off the top of my head. But they've signed a few exclusivity contracts with with some Twitch streamers, and I know some of the big when Facebook Gaming was first launching, they pulled out some really big ones to get them over Stone Mountain and Darkness, and so it's been going on for a little bit. It's just, yeah, the reasons behind it are, I think are fascinating. What do you think, Higgins?
I say good for Tyler. I mean, you cannot have your creativity like stunted, like you were saying with Markiplier. Like, and honestly, let's get it this past Markiplier. Ninja is bigger than Markiplier when it comes to the professional gaming community and everybody watching him. And he's probably making less money, but he says it's not about the money. So
Yeah.
as long as it's not about the money, who really cares? Like, let's let him go to Mixer and do his thing on there. I've been watching him on Mixer on and off. Before that, I never really watched him, just because of how big his stream was. But watching on Mixer, he seems rejuvenated and everything else, and it's more fun to watch him on Mixer than it has been on Twitch.
Yeah, and they talked a little bit about that. His wife, who's his manager, talked a little bit about that, saying that he was kind of just going through the motions before playing Fortnite on Twitch. Now that he's gone over there, he's felt rejuvenated. Yeah, it's been interesting to see. One interesting sort of statistic I came across while looking into this, though, was Mixer has seen ever since Ninja went over to Mixer, they've seen a huge jump in other streamers coming over to the platform, but it hasn't necessarily raised them in viewership in time watched.
Yeah, I mean, you can if you anytime in the middle of beginning, middle, or end of Tyler's stream, you can see it's maybe 10,000 like viewers. It's nowhere near as much as he was having on Twitch.
Yeah,
But like, I still say good for him because his stream has gotten better. He's like he said, not going through emotions. It's like watching him play Halo 2, Halo 3 all over again when he was a lot younger and had more energy. It's like he's reverted back 10 years. Like, it's great.
yeah, it'll be interesting to see if Microsoft can continue pushing this with Mixer, because even though they've had all these streamers jumped over, yeah, there's not as many. There's not a climb in viewers. Some people have gone over for Ninja, but outside of that, it hasn't affected their overall user base that much. But they need to do something to stay relevant. Right now, they are. We talked a little bit about it before, and it's still that same way. Stream Elements released their time watched, all their stats, state of the stream, and they're still bottom of the list out of the top platforms, out of Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, and Mixer. Mixer's still on the bottom of the list. Facebook is beating them out right now, which is awesome for us Facebook streamers. But yeah, Microsoft needs to do something to keep pushing to keep Mixer relevant and find a way to get that user base over. It's tough to get new users over. I mean, you see it with consoles, but at least with consoles, you have a sort of reset with every generation of, oh, well, the PlayStation looks better than the Xbox this generation. I'll go over that or go over to there or vice versa. But you can't really do that with a website.
And we also got to take in consideration, like, Facebook was its own thing before they started the whole live streaming on it. But I think Mixer will get there eventually. Like,
I hope so.
Whether it goes above Facebook or not, I mean, it can match it, and definitely Twitch is a titan, but all titans can fall eventually, especially if they continue to do with like what they did with Ninja and some of the other big streamers. Like, they're just gonna lose everybody, whether it be Facebook or Mixer. So
I just got to say, I'd pay my left kidney to have 10,000 people watching my streams.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
don't feel bad for him. He's making less money, but he's still making a lot of money.
I mean,
He's doing all right.
I've been streaming the last few streams I've had on Mixer, and I've actually had more like viewers come in and stay on Mixer than on Twitch.
Yeah.
Like, you know, but I mean that's nice, but you just kind of wish that there would be more people using Mixer anyway.
Yeah, just needs to figure out how to grow its user base, and then I think it'll be good. Its community is great. It's just small right now. Hopefully that will change soon. So this is kind of just a little bit of a PSA for gamers. Xbox announced that Game Pass Ultimate will now be coming with 6 months of Spotify Premium. So if you like listening to music while you game, it's a great combo. Just a short little thing.
About that.
You had a question?
I actually have a question about that because I tried to read about it earlier and I spaced off. Do you have to? How does that work? Like, do you need to link your account, or do you have to be a first-time buyer into the Ultimate Pass?
No, you don't have to be a first time. You do have to link your account. Spotify and Xbox have kind of been hand in hand for several years now. They've been pretty tight together. But yeah, you just have to go through and link it all together. I think you can do it straight from your Xbox for sure through the Microsoft website. But yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then kind of on the same note, similar to it, to Game Pass, cracked me up that I saw this week since we were just talking about Game Pass versus PlayStation Now last week. PlayStation Now has cut its price to from $20 a month to $10 a month, and it's added GTA 5 and God of War to it. About time.
Yeah.
It seems like they were being a little greedy there. $20 a month.
They weren't really making money off of it either. There wasn't a whole lot of people who were paying for it. So
Yeah.
Good on them.
I mean, I've actually got their PS Now installed on my PC just because I don't own a PlayStation and I was wanting to try some of them out. I've just never uninstalled it. But then I realized a lot of the games that you would have a PlayStation for aren't available on the PS Now. So God of War is a great addition for that. And yeah, it's about time they dropped down to $10 a month. PlayStation Now came out before Game Pass, but Game Pass came out cheaper. Game Pass has been around for a good length of time now. It seems a little late to be dropping this down to $10 a month, but it's about time.
Yeah. It's a little weird God of War's on there because anybody who owns a PlayStation already bought God of War.
Well, on the bright side, for people like me, I don't know if God of War is a part of it, but there's a lot of with PS Now, you can actually put that on your PC and you can play PS Now games through your PC. It doesn't apply for every single game, but there's a lot of games that you wouldn't be able to get anywhere else unless you had a PS4 that you can play on PC. So it gives you a chance without going out there and dropping a couple $100 on another console. Yes.
Nah.
And then last bit of news for today that I'm probably the most excited for. Bungie has come out and talked a little bit about it. They said they're planning on releasing at least one non-Destiny game by the year 2025. For people who aren't really familiar with Bungie, they were the creators of the Halo franchise before leaving Microsoft, and they run the Destiny franchise, and they have recently left Activision Blizzard and went independent, running through their game through Steam, and have made lots of changes to the game since leaving. So this is exciting news to me. it'll be interesting to see what kind of game they've done, or what kind of game they'll come out with next. They've done a lot of space shooters over the last 20 years. But it'll be exciting to see a new IP.
Come on, space hockey. I don't know. If you haven't played Shadowkeep yet, everybody go play it. It's fun. I've been having a blast with it. I love Bungie. My favorite Halos are just the ones that Bungie worked on. 1, 2, 3, and Reach. And Destiny's really, really good. I don't play it as much as like Jace or Tater and Smitch play it, but I do play it. But my money's on another space shooter or space hockey.
I am just hoping for like a reboot on their old Marathon series, and that's another space shooter, kind of like Doom, but not really. Like
Marathon could be fun. I'm not sure if they. I'd have to look into it. I'm not sure if they actually own the IP for Marathon or not. Sometimes games get in this weird spot where sometimes they'll actually own the IP, but they don't own the rights to publish that IP, or vice versa, or it's kind of weird sometimes with these older games.
I'm sure if they don't, whoever does own it is probably out of business by now.
Yeah, you don't know. So it'll be interesting to see if they go back to an older game, because they did make games before Halo, or if they'll come out with something completely new. I'm honestly always I always vote for something new. I like seeing new IPs.
It'd be really weird if they came out with something like Skyrim, or like something with sword and shield and arrows and stuff like that. They could do that in space. That would be amazing.
Maybe we'll actually maybe it'll be a game based off of 300, and you'll actually play a real Spartan.
Or you'll just be Spartans in space. Maybe they'll come out with a series called Halo.
Or it could be like John Carter
with Mrs. Chief.
Yeah.
John Carter.
I don't know. Yeah. It'll be interesting. We still got some time to wait on that. They said by 2025, and of course that is a very loose number. Very loose release date. But it does make me excited that they're looking forward to the future. And there seems to be this like renewed excitement over at Bungie since they left Activision Blizzard and are now doing their own thing. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's kind of the same excitement we got when they left Microsoft and created Destiny. So
yeah,
that did pretty well. So let's see what happens now.
That is our news for this week, guys. We'll be moving on to our next little segment. We'll just give you guys a quick rundown of all the games that are coming out this week. There's not many super big titles, so I'll run through these really quick. We've got Atlas full release coming to Xbox One and PC. It's going to be part of Game Pass. Then we've got that's going to be coming out on October 8th. Then Concrete Genie will be coming out for PSVR and PS4 on October 8th. Indivisible will be coming out PS4, Xbox One, PC October 8th as well. John Wick Hex is going to be coming out on PC and Mac on the 8th as well. Not sure what that is. Trine 4, The Nightmare Prince, coming to PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC on the 8th. Yooka-Laylee and the Impossible Lair is coming to PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC on the 8th. Asgard's Wrath will be coming to Oculus Rift on October 10th. I'm going to butcher this name. Doraemon, Story of Seasons. It's going to be coming out to the Switch and PC on the 11th. Grid is going to be coming out to PS4, Xbox One, Stadia, and PC on October 11th. And the last one will be Killer Queen Black coming to the Switch and PC on the 11th as well. That'll be your games coming out this week. Now we're going to move on to our roundtable question. Kind of with Destiny coming out this week, it made me think about certain developers leaving publishers and franchises moving elsewhere. So my roundtable question for everyone this week is, if you could take one franchise and give it to a completely new developer and publisher, doesn't matter whether it's a current franchise or a defunct one, what game would it be, and who would you have take control of it?
Easy. Fallout. Give it back to Obsidian.
That's a good one. I would have to say give Halo back to Bungie, for the love of God.
Halo back to Bungie. Those are both really, really good ones. The Fallout was kind of my answer, but also I was kind of thinking maybe I kind of went on a rant about it last week, so I won't get too angry again this week. But Call of Duty, I'd like it to see it go to a different publisher. I was thinking maybe Ubisoft.
Yeah, that could be good.
That would be good.
Just let the developers stay Infinity Ward.
Yeah, just have Infinity Ward go over to Ubisoft and just make one Call of Duty. And then Ubisoft has been really good about, even if the game's not amazing at launch, they keep working on it until it becomes amazing. So I would like to see that actually with the Call of Duty franchise, kind of give it a rebirth.
Duke Nukem, give it to id Software.
Forgot all about Duke Nukem.
Yeah, everybody did after forever.
Yeah. Sad times. All right. So that's our roundtable question. We are nearing the end of our hour, so we're going to finish it up with our rapid fire questions for Iggins the Bug, in which Justin and I are both going to ask you a whole slew of questions, and you need to answer them as fast as possible. Otherwise, you have to give me your car. Are you ready?
You can have it. I know you need it.
I do.
Yes.
All right. First question. If you could go on a date with a fictional character, who would it be?
May.
Which old console would you like to see have a comeback?
NES.
If you could change your hair color, what color would it be?
Red.
Trampolines or bouncy houses?
You have to choose?
Yes.
Bouncy houses.
Would you rather have a killer clown who doesn't kill anyone anymore at your birthday party, or a juggler who has no depth perception?
Killer clown.
If you could be any Zerg unit, which one would you be?
Oh, good God. The Queen.
I would like to see the TurboGrafx 16 come back, just saying. All right. Tacos or burritos?
Burritos.
If Andy has 7 apples and eats 6, how many dolphins are in the sea?
20.
Okay. 8 plus 2 plus 8 plus 2 minus 9.
11.
Nice. What gets wetter as it dries?
Towel.
I would have also accepted my soul.
Ah.
All right, man. You did superb today. I will give you 11 stars out of
12
8 apples. I don't know. All right, that's going to be our show for us today. Thanks everybody for hanging out and watching the stream. We will have the audio versions of this podcast uploaded later tonight to the podcast service of your choice. Yeah, Iggins, where can we find you? What do you want to plug?
Twitch and Mixer, and hopefully in the near future, Facebook. All of them. Just
Awesome.
IgginstheBug. Period.
Awesome. Psychos.
You can find me at facebook.com/PsychosCrass. You can find me at Twitter at ThePsychosCrass. You can find me on Instagram at ThePsychosCrass. And you can find me at LinkedIn at ThePsychosCrass.
Awesome. And I'm Jace. I go by the Mocking Jace TV on literally every platform out there. And if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, anything like that, or if you have any suggestions on a streamer that you would like to see on a future episode, please reach out to us at justfaceitpodcast@gmail.com, or you can send us a message over Twitter, Facebook, anywhere else, or you can send it to myself or the Psychoscrast and we will get right back to you. New episodes premiere live on Facebook and YouTube every Sunday at 4 p.m. Pacific. So until next time, we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.